I think we're all tired of this narrative of climate change and climate catastrophe and the end is near and the South is a victim in all of this. Mind you, climate change is real. It is an existential threat to humanity. But this narrative of the South is a victim and climate change is a disaster, which it is, but I think we have exhaustions because we have all heard it, I wouldn't even say years, decades at this point. No. From the South, we must decide to no longer content ourselves with lamentations and cries and complaints of injustice, and no longer accept patronizing discourses coming from those who caused the climate crisis. No. Ours must be the determination of transforming this crisis as a source of prosperity. That is why we speak from the OSCE of ecologically driven development. In fact, we are establishing later this year a Southern Commission for ecologically driven development. And what I mean this is very simply put. To have that ecological transition, we must have transformations that create jobs. Transformations that reduce forex disbursements in imports, that opens up opportunities for our peoples. Take electric vehicles. Electric vehicles require ion lithium batteries. More than 50%, or at least the crushing majority, of all the cobalt used in the batteries for electric vehicles come from a single country, the DRC. To transition towards a more sustainable world, we must ensure that this cobalt is no longer exported raw crude, but is transformed from where it is mined. That is not to say that Tesla should stop producing whatever it's producing and produce everything in the DRC, but saying to Tesla, if it wants the cobalt, then it must invest in factories that produce those batteries, ensuring economic development, ensuring job creation. But also, if we're going to speak of the ecological transition, then we have to recognize one thing, bluntly, with lucidity. The workforce needed for the transition is not yet there. And therefore, we must utilize this crisis to transform education and TVET courses to prepare for a development that is ecological.